Hel- Hello friends, there was a task given to us in last San Francisco meeting to take an interview of leader in our hemophilia fraternity. Guys, I could say that I was very fortunate to get his interview. He is the young and enthusiastic leader in India. You might be know him. Uh, he has represented India many times at international level. He is the executive committee member of Hemophilia Federation India. Even though he is the key, he had played the key role in the establishment of the youth group of Hemophilia Federation India. And guys, he is also working for the women's group in India, and he is the chapter key person of the Guwahati chapter, which is located in the east part of India. Now, guys, the picture of him is in front of you.
Hello, Mr. Mukesh Garodia. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you, Mr. Yogi Parmar. And how are you doing?
Oh, Mr. Mukesh, I'm doing good. So, as a part of my Suro project, I need to take an interview of leaders. So, I'm going to take your interview.
Alright.
Okay, Mr. Mukesh, my first question is that how do you see the treatment scenario in improving in India and role of the youths in coming time? And what was the treatment of hemophilia in the past and what is the treatment of hemophilia in at present?
Well, initially, when Hemophilia Federation India started in the year 1983, there was almost no treatment in the country, or a very little treatment, which was available to the hemophiliacs in the country. And most of us, like I was born in the early 70s, most of us relied on fresh blood, whole blood, and then slowly it came up with plasma or cryoprecipitated. So the situation at that time was really pathetic in India, and gradually Hemophilia Federation India started working its and became active in the country and started having chapters all across the country gradually, and the scenario changed. And today the hemophilics in India are much more stronger compared to the ones which were born in the 70s. The guys who were born in the 70s are more or less disabled today, but thankfully the generation which was born in the 90s are doing good today, are pretty strong physically and have good education backup, are trying to make a difference, and they are self-sufficient. And the youth lately has played a major role in giving a new momentum and direction towards the upliftment of the hemophilia community in India. And today we see that the Indian youths are doing masters in business administration, they're coming out with doctors, engineers, they are in various fields today. Compared to our generation people, where we could hardly finish our education because of lack of treatment. We have, like for myself, I have stayed in bed for almost 4 years in the early 90s and a couple of years in the 80s. So it was pretty tough, and today I see that the present generation is doing fantastically and phenomenally well, and thanks to the work of Hemophilia Federation India in India.
Mr. Mukesh, in India, what kind of challenges faced by the hemophilic who are living in the remote area and how they can manage the medicine?
That is the biggest challenge for our organization, because the terrain, the communication is pretty difficult in many remote parts of the country, and it becomes impossible at times for us to reach them or for them to even reach us. But as we are trying on advocacy and government lobbying, so we are trying to sensitize government to make sure that factor is available even in the remotest government hospitals, so that our blood brothers and thin blood sisters can avail the free factor in these hospitals. But still, it's miles to go because it's not an easy task. As first of all, we need to locate how many patients are there in the remote areas, because so far, which the hemophiliacs registered with us are often visitors of the chapters. But at the same time, there are certain hemophiliacs who hardly come to the chapters because of no good conveyance or the difficult, tough terrains to reach the city, and above all, the cost of transportation. So it's a big challenge, and we are working on it, and fingers crossed, and I'm very hopeful that it might take time, but we'll never say never, and we'll make sure that we'll try to reach as many as hemophiliacs as possible, and we are working on it.
Well, Mr. Mukesh, my second question is what inspired you to form the youth group of Hemophilia Federation India?
In 2007, the new executive committee of Hemophilia Federation India thought that it is time to develop a stronger second line of leaders in India so that it can give a new ideology to the movement and bring around strong leaders from within the community to carry the torch forward. And so I was given the task to develop a youth group in India. And today we feel that the youth group has become very strong. We see a lot of young emerging leaders active in the hemophilia movement all across the country. So it was a strategy by Hemophilia Federation India so that the youth who are really doing good in their personal life and are self-sufficient can be role models to other hemophiliacs in India and bring a change in the next generation.
Okay, Mr. Mukesh, my next question is how did you plan the formation of the youth group and what were the challenges faced by you during the formation of the youth group of Hemophilia Federation India?
Well, it was a very tough job because when we thought of developing our youth group in India, we were not sure because hemophiliacs in India have not traveled alone, and we were pretty skeptical that will it be successful or not. And when we organized our first training program in 2007, we invited most of the chapters in India, and we were expecting 100 to 150 youth from all across the country. But in the back of my mind, we were thinking that there might be a possibility that only 25 to 30 will turn up. But speaking to many key persons, the chapter representatives all over India, we tried to convince them, and we were able to convince them, and things started looking positive, and almost 65 youth turned up in the first ever leadership training program in 2007. And then the bunch of guys who came over were so enthusiastic, so intelligent and knowledgeable about the disorder as well as how to be self-sufficient. And thanks to God, we never looked back. Though there were a lot of challenges, providing them anti-hemophilic factor injections, giving good care to them, making sure that their travel is comfortable, but we somehow managed because the team which we were working together made all of this happen. And thanks to God, today we have a very strong youth group all across the country.
The youth group of Hemophilia Federation India is now known to be the largest youth group in the Hemophilia fraternity all across the world. Have you ever dreamt of this?
Well, to be very honest, we never thought that it'll become so big. In fact, we never gauged when we started developing the youth group, but we were very sure and positive that we will make sure to make a very stronger youth group. But we had no idea in our remotest dream that it will become one of the biggest youth group globally. There is another reason for this also, because India has a huge population of hemophiliacs registered under the Hemophilia Federation India. So that make things easier to have a very strong youth group. But at the same time, the youth group, the youths who are the member in the youth group are pretty active. They're just not there for namesake. They have been organizing events for their respective chapters as well as for Hemophilia Federation India, taking part in the chapter activities and making sure that there is a strong second line of leadership in almost all chapters in India today. So it's really satisfying, overwhelming response from the youth group, and the youth group deserve applause because this is what they did. We tried our best, but the youth group did more than what we ever imagined. So kudos to the youth group of HFI.
Applause for the youth group of Hemophilia Federation India, Mr. Mukesh. How do you look forward to the youth group of Hemophilia Federation India, and what is your message to the upcoming youth leaders?
I anticipate that the youth group of Hemophilia Federation India today will be the future of the umbrella organization Hemophilia Federation India, and I believe strongly that Hemophilia Federation India will be in right hands. And I would just like to suggest that yes, working for Hemophilia Federation India and making the organization stronger will definitely result in a stronger hemophilia community. But at the same time, the youth should also make sure that they take care of their studies, of their health, and be self-sufficient first, and then think of the organization. Because once you are stronger, the individuals are stronger, it will definitely result the organization and make the organization stronger. So I wish the youth all the best, and I believe in them, and I anticipate them to lead the organization and be the torchbearers of Hemophilia Federation India. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mukesh. Had a wonderful time with you, and we, the youth group of Hemophilia Federation India and the Hemophilia Federation India, working together with to achieve our dream: hemophilia without disability, children free of pain. Thank you so much.
The pleasure is all mine talking to you, and I wish you all the best, Yogi. You are a fantastic torchbearer and advocate of the hemophilia community, and I'm proud of you, and I'm proud to see you developing into a very self-sufficient young man. I wish you all the best. God bless you. Love you, my brother.
Love you always, Mukesh bhaiya.